Could you introduce yourself and explain what you're doing
Is this okay? Hey, hi everyone. My name is Nick. I work for Casco, and we help insurance companies and MGAs to push digital products to market within 6 weeks by having built our own MGA operating system.
Yeah, I'm Robin. I'm a recovering Allianz sales agent, and I've been clean for 6 years. You may clap now. What I've been doing, so I started ranting on stage that old white men in insurance C-suits actually have lost contact to reality. And instead of being booed off stage, I got a lot of calls, and after understanding that we built a company called Digital Scouting, which started as a blog, as mentioned, and now we help insurers with digital products and services, with market entry strategies, and also with attention hacking. That's what we do. But I still rant on stage, so that's my job here, I think.
Well, last but not least, probably the biggest one and the slowest one in the room. So representing old traditional mutual. We've been there for 200 years. Not totally dinosaur in terms of our capabilities, but when listening to the presentation today and this morning, we do have our share when it comes to embracing change. Nevertheless, I've been to the group for 4 years now, and everything within digital, meaning the transformation part is of course something I do, but more of that a bit later. Back to you, Xavier.
Yeah. My name is Xavier Gomez. I'm co-founder of Clivio, a business intelligence platform powered by machine learning and natural language processing, dedicated for financial services. We provide a SaaS platform to banks, insurance companies, consulting firms, and VC fund in order to support them in their digital transformation. So, interesting subject. I think AI for you guys are much more optimistic story. No?
No.
No? Why do you create a startup?
Why? How could I create a startup that doesn't say that I do anything with AI or use actual intelligence versus artificial intelligence?
I could now make the joke that you're not looking for a fast exit. Maybe that's the difference. Sorry.
No, listen. I think for me, I'm a big believer in the potential of AI to automate certain repetitive tasks and to garner unique insights from large and possibly unstructured data sets. Great. But I also think from what I'm seeing with where the insurance industry is today, I think there's a three-step process. And I didn't even have to kind of come up with it myself. I just kind of copied it from Ping An, who I thought were pretty good on the AI front. And they basically say the first thing you need to do is have digital first data collection processes, right? And most insurance companies are not even there yet. So first thing is collect data in a structured manner. Second then is have a rules-based or hypothesis-driven heuristic-based model about rules. People think of certain rules and then you kind of automate, augment. And then you inject AI. So what I think a lot of insurers are doing is innovation theater, you do a little bit of AI, it looks good, but it doesn't really scale throughout the organization because they haven't done step 1 and 2, which is really hard. I think Ping An stated in this interview it was a 10-year journey. So, just setting up the innovation lab is not gonna cut it, I think. And also, there was this other article, 50% of all European AI startups don't have AI. And then, so yeah, we're a startup and we don't have AI.
Okay. Guys?
Can I build on top of that, because what you just said, Nicholas, was very true. When I joined the company, who of you have been part of some sort of hackathon? Most of us, and no surprise. For us, in relation to we need to have the stuff first, we need the data. Our management kind of forgot that, and instead what we chose, we just threw out money in those hackathons, and there was this wish that this innovation fairy would come with his or her dust and then sprinkle it around, and then all of a sudden we would have some sort of proposition, capability, what have you. It took almost 6 months for me to cut it off and getting back to basics. And for example, in healthcare, any successful implementation of real, at least with some real capabilities in terms of AI, they have data like from 10 years in terms of data sets, so that gives some perspective before running into details. Obviously, we have some of that data collected far longer than that, but it's not applicable alone. So we have our sort of a preparation work to be done before really getting into it. Nevertheless, we are already piloting some ideas, and of course, the promise is huge, but we need to do homework first before getting there.
So promises is huge. I think everybody agree on that. But don't you think we forgot one element you just mentioned, a talent, in order to make applicable this kind of technology in old-fashioned industries such as insurance? You need talent, skills, and to create the trust of current employees and colleagues on that. Have you got an opinion?
Well, I think you touched a very serious point there. The big question, I think we could agree on where the ship is sailing and what kind of vision in the future lies. We can look to Southeast Asia to see what the future might look like, what they're doing in healthcare there, if you want to go for the healthcare example. But the big question is, which one of your ship crew can you take with you? Which one can you educate? And by the way, you don't need a ship, you need an airplane. Yeah, and so that's a big question. But I want to get a step back to touch a point that I think it's not only the talent that's super important, but it is the commitment of the leadership. If you don't have the commitment of the leadership to really do it, and they're happy with a hackathon, they're happy with an innovation lab, then you have a problem. Don't get me wrong, hackathon is great, and to get in touch with people, may I hire people, it's a great instrument, but it does not help you to transform a company of 5,000 or 10,000 people. And what I want to say before we go into we need a data scientist to join the team is, first of all, you need to start using data. I mean, we are in mid-size insurers or larger insurers that do not even use the few data they have. They don't even use the data which broker is actually making us money and which broker is actually costing us money, which customer is making us money, which customer is costing us money, what is with our employees, which one in the call center is doing a great job and which one is idling around. There's in a lot of cases no traction of that. And before we go to the direction of saying we need talent and conquer the world, let's start doing the stuff we need to do now. But that's super, super hard. It's like going to the gym. You know, my wife told me I need to lose weight this year, and it's really easy. You know, you not stop eating crap and going to the gym. It's the same with digital transformation. You know, we can go and do the shortcut and go to the hackathon or the innovation lab. This is just like taking steroids. Nothing helps you to get in shape, in the digital shape, than to do it. So you need to go to the gym, you need to do it, you need to do the transformation, and you need to also eat healthy. This means also, you know, ask the hard question, what you started, do we have the right people at the right point or not? And if we look at the leadership, it's so much easier to do a shortcut, to take a shortcut, than actually to do the hard thing than going to the gym. But that doesn't lead you to where you want to go, I think.
Richie, what is your opinion on that? Because you have a lot of employees.
Well, I will take a step back regarding this trust you mentioned and defining, for example, capabilities under AI. In fact, we are adding one S, artificial support intelligence. Mm-hmm. And that has been a sort of not only stepping stone, but a foundation that, okay, this is the way we are going to implement, use, utilize, and enable any capability in relation to the machine learning. I wouldn't use word AI in our context, it's a bit too powerful, but then I guess those features around it implemented in a way that our people can understand those. But yes, I agree, the ship is, or the vessel is a bit too slow, we need airplane, and at the same time we are painfully aware that not all the people on board today are capable of flying in the future. But we need to have that trust in place in order to retain and then attract the talent we need in the future.
How do you create a good team on that? Because the subject of the panel is customer engagement. At the end, this is customer experience, how to improve your relation with the final customer, how we can create a good experience with AI. What does it mean? You have older employees with a lot of experience, sometimes old-fashioned, but they have the experience, they know client better than anyone, and you have a youngster, that new data scientist came on the team, and you have to create a kind of diversity team. How we can manage that in order to provide the right service with the support of AI?
So I think, and this has nothing to do with AI, I think, how do you get a powerful team, right? And it's always it's the same three building blocks. You need to have meaningful work, meaningful relationships, and fair compensation. So with meaningful work, this means you need to have an interesting challenge that entices driven, motivated, smart, experienced, whatever people to give it a crack, right? You need to have meaningful relationships. Whatever a diverse team is, the important thing here is that they respect each other. Ideally, they also like each other, but usually in a work environment, it's about respect. And then you need to, and we discussed this, fair compensation. And if you're looking for really hot data scientist talent, you need to pay a fair market salary and outcompete against the tech, defense, banking, who might pay premium dollar or pay consultancy for lending you this capability. But I think the main point, what is a challenge, is if you don't get this first one right and give a meaningful task that is interesting, people will come, they give a crack at it, and they have options, and then they'll just go because there's other planes in the air. And I think that's the key thing. So what happens after the chatbot or whatever you do? And I think that's the core thing. It's that first part that some insurers struggle if they don't think about it in a strategic, long-term sense. Nothing to do with that either.
And Robin, if I may, a direct comment, that's how we approach in building our own team, for example, for chatbots, RPA, what have you, identifying that talent we had in the organization, combining that with external knowledge, but really not giving the sort of turnkey authority to the external ones, rather than just training our people. But then again, that's the tricky part, because I painfully see and understand what is the paycheck level outside our organization today. So we really need to treat people well. We really need to enable them to be the best what they can do, and then of course treat them well enough for them wanting to stay. And that has actually yielded quite remarkable results, because by that way, by finding that expertise in your own organization, we can actually go way deeper than any external consultant. And as an example, our robotics team is now teaching and consulting other industries, municipals, tax authority in Finland, and likes, because those consultants are missing very crucial point when it comes to their business processes. And that was a bit surprising finding. And of course now I have to do everything in my power to safeguard those people from those consultants, because you won't be losing your edge as soon as you enter the outside the door, but after 6 months that edge is gone. So interesting balance between our own and external capabilities in making those whatever AI-related stuff happen in the future.
One thing to you, what I really find interesting, that you now actually make money by the competencies you build up yourself. I mean, that's yet what Ping An plans to. They want to become in a decade 50% of their revenue, and they have quite large revenue. They want to become coming in from consulting and tech businesses. So maybe if Insura really do a great job, a lot of monetization opportunities lay ahead. But the question was high achievement teams, and how can you do it? I think, and it's not about the old against the new. It's not about, it's not a gender issue, it's not a race issue, it's not an age issue. You have sometimes in companies 55-year-old super expert that just waited for a new CEO or CIO coming in and liberating him or her from restraints. So I think we have two groups in companies. You have the people that see possibilities and you have people that see just the problems. And to be quite honest, when you want to have a high achievement team, that's the baseline to achieve anything, you know, data cleansing, data structuring, AI, building digital products and services, knowledge you can sell. What you need is a high achievement team. And to be quite honest, the challenge is to have a look at your overall team, see where are the naysayers, where are the people that support that. And when you have constant people that are toxic, you know, if you're a small company or a big company, you need that, cut that out as cancer.
This is clear.
Yeah, but it's hard because so maybe it's a young person, a new person you just hired for a gazillion euros because it's a data scientist, but it's, I don't know, you know, doesn't fit to the team. To reverse this decision, it's political damage for yourself, or it's a person since 25 years, you know, causing chaos in your organization and nobody had the balls to address that problem. So it's super hard, but the achievement, if you have a high performance team, it's amazing what you can achieve with only a few people or even a few hundred people. It's unbelievable. So let's look at what we can do together there.
Interesting. What do you think we can do as today in order to improve customer engagement in insurance?
Don't try to engage too much. I think the best insurance product is an invisible insurance product. I think the whole reason, I remember I was sitting with a large reinsurance company and they said, we want to make insurance more engaging. I mean, this is a reinsurance company, so they've never seen an actual customer, so that's okay. But it's to say no. I mean, the reason why people go to intermediaries, to trusted intermediaries, it really reduces my complexity. I go to someone, a knowledgeable, trusted person, whether I should trust the business model here is for a different discussion, but I trust this person takes all this pain away from me. He or she navigates this landscape, and this is why people use this service. And I think, and we've discussed this, so I think an insurance product in and of itself should not be that engaging. Make it easy, make it passive for the customer, make it fit, but don't expect too much active engagement by the customer, or it's not an insurance product anymore. We're talking different products. That's fine. You're venturing into different types of services. But a good insurance product is a product I never have to see and hopefully never engage with. But then ideally at the point of claim, I actually get regulated. I think that's what some people forget. That's good insurance UX. No engagement.
Or see totally differently. So I strongly disagree. Why? Because I believe, I disagree. Why? Because if you have not the engagement of the customer, the big danger today with new entrants in the market is you can lose the customer. And what I strongly believe is going to happen there. The end customer.
The one that you already gave away to the intermediary, or where you paid ads, or which customer are you talking about?
I'm talking about the customer that is in your system. So if you do not engage significantly with him or her, then you're going to lose it. And if it's a tied agent, doesn't matter anyway. I think it's the insurance customer in general, who is attracted now by different companies. And if you lose that, then you get cut up slice by slice by the attackers, the ones who selflessly then deal with the customer, like Amazon and things like that. So I think that's super dangerous. I think even you would need to go to the contrary direction. You need to, and as insurance and banks, and that's what I really like about Finnovative, that we have both industries here. As insurance and banks, you need to become the trusted partner that accompanies your people in their daily lives and supports them and solves their problem. May it be building wealth, maintaining wealth, managing wealth, increasing wealth, or securing it against the risks of life events. And if we don't do it, somebody will take this position with the customer, and they will not keep us alive for long, I fear.
Very interesting. That's directly from our steering and boardroom discussions. That very same topic. We have totally same views. It's forget it, not interesting. Let's try and automate. Let's try to be that gray wallpaper on the background, and then just take anything critical. Let's take care of that. And then the direction we've taken is actually the very active engagement, not only in insurance, but in previous panel, preventing stuff from happening, adding health and well-being elements, adding wealth management elements into our offerings. And that then requires far more active engagement than before. But Nicholas, I like your thinking because, again, honestly, when it comes to insurance, this is my favorite question. How many of you last Sunday woke up and started browsing different insurance options? Anyone? Me neither. So it kind of tells the story when it comes to insurance.
I'm sorry, but with the engagements piece, I just combined. I think we need to create product that engage. We don't have to look at an insurance product just only what the actuaries and the underwriters have done. It's something, it's a full experience that we offer. Effectively, I don't wake up on Sunday to browse what exactly I'm going to get as an insurance policy, because I buy an insurance policy once a year, or maybe twice, or maybe I will buy it every 10 years if the engagement and the service is great. It's not about us being able to offer a product where you're browsing and you're finding exactly what you want every time and so on. It's just about like, how can I be sure that I'm insured very well every time? So if I have an issue with my door not opening at all, I know I can call my insurer. If I have an issue with my daughter not feeling well, I know I have an insurer which has this platform of doctor and I can talk to them and so on. So yeah, we are not Amazon, we are not a fashion company and so on. But even with innovation, technology and everything coming up, insurance will be one of the most essential protection from everyone in the planet, and we need to understand that customers are changing, there's digitalization, and so on, and we need to involve with the customer. Customer need the brand that love them, and they love the brand. This is what we have to be thinking of.
Maybe one thing. So maybe I agree partially with Nick. For example, I'm trying to buy a term life insurance for at least the last 5 months, and I mean, providing the customer with an 80-page PDF where you even can't find the damn, quota and the price and the terms. That's not customer engagement if he's freaking out, and then complaining about bad processes. That's not what I mean. But I mean like more the other layer. But I'm not sure what you meant.
No, I mean, listen, I think the point, I think there will be, if we kind of look at the perfect agent, currently it's an analog agent, and that person deals with the insurance for me, make sure that my data is up to date, make sure that if I have the child, I'm up to date, kind of takes an index of my current situation and obviously continuously checks the market for the best coverage, right? The ideal agent. Now, I think that is a tried and tested model that customers are willing to pay for. And I think to emulate that in a technical way is a very smart way and probably has a higher probability than trying to become the most sexy insurance plan, right? I would say. So I would kind of say try to minimize active engagement, but passive engagement behind the scenes, because you can aggregate more. And this is, I would say, when people say engagement, more in the underwriting renewals process. Now, I think insurers have been traditionally awesome in how to regulate certain claims, deal with replacements. Now, it doesn't always seem that, because we don't engage with it, but try to build up, I don't know, a car repair network, from scratch as a startup. Be my guest. It's really hard. It's really hard. So I think there has been a lot done, but sometimes I feel it's, let's look at what this great neobank does and all these push notifications, and let's ping health activity thing, and then you get a little coupon, and then I think it's kind of playing a little bit, and I would not go onto this more superficial type of engagement, but the passive engagement on the ground, in the background, I think is very good.
If I may build on top of your very good comment, that's where we actually are combining this technology. For example, this agent we want to discuss, rather than trying to help people navigate when it comes to our web pages or mobile, what have we, is having that intelligent background on our contact center, analyzing, okay, this is the tone and content of the discussion, doing it the real time, and then guiding the person, our person, through with you, enabling that you have the best knowledge we have combined in our company. Another example when it comes to doctors, we in fact bought one of those private doctor chains to enable this fully automated. Yes,
of course you did.
that's the fun part. As an industry, we have the funds, we can buy stuff.
I've noticed, yes.
Yeah, and that makes the other things harder. But coming back to the doctor topic, having then intelligence in place to guide you the process where we take care of your problem. Forget the claims, that's handled on the background. But really addressing the problems our customers have when they engage with us. And that's where intelligence, whether it's mechanical or even physical, helps quite dearly. And that's of course where we're putting our investments to be there for our clients when it matters. So that's in short.
And maybe this is also the beauty of the industry. We now made fun about, insurers are capable of buying something, but to be quite honest, insurer could buy out of their pocket change most insurtech in Europe. And this is a good thing, because if we go outside and look about our friends from the finance and banking industry, there are a lot of big names not here. Not because they don't want or have anything better to do, but because they simply cannot afford it anymore. And they are like drowning while we are still sitting at the beach and thinking, I'm not sure how big the tide is going to be. So that's the fun thing about our industry. And we really can still, do some mistakes and fight for the best solution for our companies, for the industry. So that's really, really cool. That's why I love it also here, Nevertheless, but one point about the push notifications to engage with the customer. I agree. If it does not make sense and you disturb the person, you should not do it. But if I submit a claim and I don't hear anything for weeks, and on the other hand, I'd fly with KLM, and on my way from the plane through this thing where you walk through and you don't see anything, I already get a push notification on which belt my suitcase is, and they know if I don't have a suitcase, they don't send me one. That's great. If you do projects at insurers and you apply something similar like that, the amount of customer requests you get via the call center just implode, and that saves you a lot of money. And saving money, that's a language insurers really, really love hearing, I think.
But we can agree that before you go all into AI, maybe just get a fresh desk license and start with a ticketing system.
I think that's not a bad idea.
Okay, just as a first step.
But again, adding intelligence, and this is very, at least for me, difficult to understand. Cars nowadays, they have all the gadgets and gears to prevent stuff happening. And only the stats from last year, guess where most of the accidents take place, at least in Finland? In traffic lots, where people are parking their cars. Come on, with those Teslas and devices, who could add some intelligence? Again, I had this business case for actually putting concierge parking in place for Christmas, because it would be far more cheaper for us to have those 10, 15 persons standing there 2 weeks parking people's cars than paying for that Tesla rear bumper 5,000 euros a piece. Only by, okay, it was so dark I didn't see it. And then you have all the flashlights and noise on your screen saying, stop please, you're about to hit something. So yes, we can be very, very intelligent internally, but then again, understanding where we can make difference together with our partners. And I think there's quite many places for innovation still out there to really prevent stuff happening. But interesting phenomena when trying to figure out, okay, where should change take place for us to actually change the way we operate. And that's why we are very keen in looking not only inside Living Company, but also outside, and understanding what's going on in the marketplace. Anyone with good idea preventing those parking lot accidents, I'm free to discuss that right as this time.
It's not only about parking lots, but I think the significance of reducing a few 5,000 euro claims is that adds up. And actually, there's an Israeli startup that is actually from a mutual insurer spin-off that were able to, due to an algorithm that checks the application.